Hello everyone, I am Elvis and I am back here. I'm sitting this way here, okay? I don't have anybody disabilities, but as I am a little bit tired today, I'm gonna sit more, more comfortably. Um, I also got a cold, it's a bad cold, so you may forgive if sometimes I sneeze or something like that. I'm terribly sorry if this happened, because I'm not going to edit any videos. Those videos here I'm doing is more to share information, more to kind of guide you and tell you how things work in a more practical manner, right? I have seen, and you have seen those too, those videos telling like, oh, you can get a house in Japan in this way, in that way. You just need to, go there and find someone and go online. And then when you go online, you just see those websites selling you a subscription where you're gonna be paying $3, $4, $5 a month just to see there's newsletters talking about properties, but they don't help you. They do not help you. No, they don't share any details with you. They don't give you a broker. They don't give you any support. They just say, hey, this house is free. If you want it, rush there and see what you can get. Well, from my experience, I'm gonna share with you what I have done to register a property in Japan. Yes, I have my properties in Japan. I never use Akiya house because even though there are very nice deals in some areas of the country, not all of them are accessible to foreigners, especially me, because I live in South Asia, in South China, but not Japan, okay? I go to Japan very often. In a few weeks, in about 15 days. In about 15 days, I will be going again to Japan, and I have some properties in there. None of them is from Akiya, right? And some of my friends are also buying Japan because we want to have our places where we can go for a holiday, where we can bring our families to. Some of us are doing for business, and some are just trying to have something, right? So here is how much documentation you get after you buy a property in Japan. Yes, this is the amount of paper. I'm not going to show you all of it because there are several people's, several people name in it, like my broker or maybe the previous owner. Of course, my broker is a person that I can introduce to anybody who wants to buy a property in Kyoto Prefecture, okay? In Kyoto Prefecture, even I can help you on buying a property, not from Akiya, because Akiya is really hard for foreigners who are not leaving Japan to get, or foreigners who just come to Japan on a holiday, or maybe are planning for the future. Well, this one here is the registration of the property. So the titles, I'm not going to show much because there's so much information here, huh? The titles, they come like this, and each property you get will have one of those, okay? So sometimes there are several properties in one and several titles in only one piece. And in my situation, I got a few of them, and they come like this. And at the back also comes information like a survey in Japanese of the property, plus the taxation, okay? So the tax, let me see if there is any information here. The tax papers come like this, and will be several of them. Taxes for properties in Japan are really low, honestly telling you. One of my properties is about 1,900 square meters, and I only pay about $42 a year. Of course that we are renovating the house and everything, but still $42 a year. And then you have all the documentation which comes from the company who has supported your purchase, the broker. And in this documentation, you're gonna get the survey of the property, done by the city hall and the company, the previous uh, owner's documentation. You will also get a survey of the land. You'll get the mapping of the property. You will get as well the whole mapping of the city and where your property are located. You're gonna get a lot of things like this, and it's really in detail. The houses photos, I cannot show much because my house is in need of help, so yeah, no. The taxes after they're paid off, because you cannot transfer a property without having the taxes paid. And then you get a brochure, which is really something else, which has the rules of like the construction rules, right? So you cannot build a house, you know, you have ways of building the property. Also informations of what you should do in case of an earthquake or a natural disaster, who you should be calling, or how to activate electricity in the property, rules and regulations, things you need to do in case of evacuation of the city, all kinds of things. And this is something that they do since the end of the World War II, right? So after the World War II, they start issuing this kind of documentation to the tensions in between countries in Asia. The other document we get is the contract signed by you, the owner, the previous owner, the people who is selling the house, and the broker who is supporting you on the purchase. And then, yeah, and then you have the one from the property, right? The person who is subletting the property to be sold. Taxes and services receipt. You get all of those together. So you have all the services and all the whole thing in details, and they issue the whole certification, and also the first survey they do for the property, and the permission from the owner. I cannot show much of this one here too. From the owner to sell it. So to represent them and sell it and help, you know, to let the broker, a kind of power of attorney from the owners, to represent them in the scrivener, in the notarial center, in the city hall, wherever that is, all of them together, to help you getting your document, the house documents, registered under your name. But to get this, which is you have to keep all of them for the future, you need to go through a process. So let's say that you are a person same as me, right? You have something similar. You're not Japanese. You have nobody in your family who are Japanese, so you're not the son or grandson of a Japanese citizen. You're not married to a Japanese. You're not living and working in Japan, and you don't have any visa status in Japan. I can go to Japan as many times as I want because my citizenship, my passport, is free entries to Japan for 90 days each time. And I expect to be moving to Japan in the future, right? So I start to buy my properties, I start to organize myself. I found some properties on a very good prices, and I felt that I want to buy them, I want to have them. And I also helped other foreigners who wanted to have their properties in Japan, and so I did, and so I do every single day. So depending on the prefecture you want to buy and the city, some cities will not allow you to purchase. Some will ask you to have a residence permit or some status in Japan if you want to buy a house from the Akiya bank. But if you're not going to buy from the Akiya bank, if you're going to buy from a private seller, right? A person who is selling it in, the owner is still selling it. It is much easier. How easier is it? As easier as you buy a bottle of water in a convenience store. How? First thing is, you found a property, and you ask the prices, the taxes. You get to know everything. Visit the property if you have time. If you don't, ask the people to send you, the people who are helping you in Japan, to send you a video, and try to find a broker in that region. If you are trying to buy in Kyoto Prefecture, from my own experience, I tell you, it is the best place to buy in Japan. Kyoto Prefecture, not only the Kyoto city, but Kyoto Prefecture, where you have the city of Osaka and Kyoto and many more. It's kind of central Japan, and it's a great place for foreigners to buy property because it's much easier, the process, even if you're not living in Japan. Some places like Tokyo are really complicated to go. Tokyo, Shizuoka Prefecture, really hard to go because they give preferences to the local citizens. They want the local citizens to have more access to those properties and leave those first tier cities, right? So they most of the time they want people from the city of Tokyo to go to a smaller city. Also do COVID-19, during the COVID-19, they found that it was very difficult to manage the citizens in the cities like Tokyo and Osaka, Nagasaki, I guess. So the country is asking the people to move, and they're giving some benefits. They're not asking, but they're giving some benefits. So if you have a kid in Japan, if you are Japanese and you have a kid in Japan, you get some benefits. If you are a Japanese moving to the countryside, you also get benefits. So there are benefits for the locals, and the priority is support them with the Akiya houses, not foreigners, okay? Why I say the Kyoto Prefecture is the best place to go for getting a house from the, like in a private way, going with the owner. Basically, it's because you do not need so much documentation. You don't have to be physically in Japan. The most thing you need is to find a broker who wants to run the process for you and who will negotiate with you, give you a good price, or, depending on the negotiations, see how much they're going to be charging you for the service. So in some situations, realtors, they will not support you to buy a property in Japan, which is cheap, because they get 2-3% of the sales. So if you bought a house for $20,000 and they're gonna get 2-3%, how much are they going to get? It's really low, and it's a big investment, waste of time for them, and they don't want it. So my recommendation for you is to ask how much they would be charging you for the service. You will be paying no less than $600 and no more, let's say, no more than $3,000 to $4,000. Depending on the property, is really worth of paying it. It's really worthy. So check the property very well. If you are not in Japan, try to go there depending on the price of the what you're getting. Ask for videos, ask for photos. And something that I really like about Japan is that the broker will help you to get the survey of the property all entirely done. So you can communicate with them and they will tell you, hey, this house is this. They will send you videos. And if there's a crack on the wall, they're gonna show you the crack on the wall. If there is some problem in the property, they're gonna be showing you that. They're honestly, from my experience, very honest. Very honest. And there was a broker friend of mine now, he's a friend now, and he told me, Elvis, you're gonna spend money on this property. It's cheap, it is, but you're gonna spend a lot of money on this. And he calculated everything for me and said, look, so he jeopardized himself, you know, he jeopardized his profit from his job. Because if he helped me to buy that property, he wouldn't be getting a service for that, right? He would get his fees from that. And I told him, no, I don't want this one, but I want to see that one. And he told me to another place. Working with the Japanese is really great. They will not trick you. In most of the cases, I have never been tricked by a Japanese, or at least I do not feel tricked by them. Really honest people, I really like them, respectful people, great people. And if you have, you know, a straightforward conversation with them, they will support you. They will not hide any fees from you. They will be telling you everything straight away. I don't recommend buying from the Akiya, as I said. I recommend you to look for a property. Documentation you will need to register the property. First of all, you need your passport. It needs to be a valid passport for at least like the next 2 years. Secondly, you need to get your permanent residential address done in your country and notarized and translated to Japanese. And you have to get the translation to Japanese also notarized. So what you do is very much write a document saying your name, your date of birth, where are you from, what's your passport number, where you live, and get proof of where you live in your country or in a foreign country as well. Can be by a police registration, right? Can be a way of bill that comes under your name, a phone bill or water bill, electrics, what bill come under your name, or a rental contract. Get that notarized, proving your address in your country or in the country where you live, the lease, whatever that is. Prove where you live, and after you do that, you get this document done, you sign it, you take to translate, okay? It need to be a certified translation, it cannot be Google, no, it will be certified translation. After you get everything translated into Japanese, you will get it notarized in your country. Once you get it notarized, you will send to your broker in Japan, together with your passport, copies, please, copies, the copy of your passport, and you will make the payment to the broker, and the broker will support you, will help you to do all the, you know, the documentation you have to go through. And the payment for the property, you will be paying as soon as both sides sign the contracts. How much time does it take? It takes about 60 days at the most. 30 days can do. 60 days can get it done for sure. And you will get the documentation to your home country, or you go and pick it up in Japan. If you are in Japan, or if you go to Japan to do it in person, better for you, or okay, but just will be a little bit, you know, expensive for you if you are going to spend this money. I'm saying this process for Kyoto Prefecture, but not for every city of Kyoto, okay? There is a city which is called Maizuru, is north Kyoto, forgive my pronunciation, and this city only allow people who have got a residence permit in Japan to buy a property in there. Some other cities are much easier, so find a broker for the city you want to buy, and then you can from there be working through the process with them. You can also Google it, but it's very hard to find this kind of information. So the best thing to do is if you find a website from the Akiya Bank, or if you go to those websites which shows you um, what's the name? Show you some properties, right? From Akiya banks or maybe private properties, whatever that is. You can uh, find the name of the city and Google for some brokers in that region. Ask them if they can support you on doing this job. Some will just turn you down straight away. They'll just drop it. They will just say, no, I don't speak English. We are afraid of communication issues. Or no, we don't do this kind of service. You have to go to the city hall by yourself and write the petition by yourself, or whatever that is. Because some houses, they are registered in the Akiya Bank, but they still have the owners, and the owners can still sell you the property. It's rare, but happens. Most of the time when we see Akiya houses, we are talking about houses that has been given back to the country, like the owner has passed away and the social service did not find that property in a good state, in a good condition, and asked the country to take possession of it, maybe donate it to someone else. Most of the cases that the house goes to the Akiya Bank is because it doesn't have anybody to inherit, okay? If the house is in the Akiya Bank, I tell you, it's really hard to get it out from the Akiya Bank. So ask a broker, ask a realtor in Japan how much they would be charging you to find you a property in there, and sign a contract with them, or maybe see what the negotiations are, right? Some will ask you to pay upfront. China, Japan, South Korea are mostly to pay upfront. So don't find it strange or weird if any odd, it's not any odd to see a broker or an agency asking you upfront for the fees, right? Very much normal, very much normal. I tell you that because I live in Asia for almost 10 years now, and this is a thing that I live always. Everything in Asia you pay first and get second, so you don't see so much things on credit, especially China. You pay first and you get later. So this is the best way for you to get a property. If you want to go to Japan, work in there, you got a job, right? You got a job, you sign a contract, you are getting a working visa in Japan, and you are not in a rush to get a property, then I recommend you to do not buy straight away. Go experience Japan first, see if you like the country, see if you are really about settling down in Japan. If you're really into it, then do it. If you are a person who wants to get a holiday house, or maybe you want to get a guest house, you're retiring in your country and you want to move to Japan, also go and see which regions you like. Try to find a broker for the region. See what documentation they will be requiring you to do. And from my experience, I really let you know now that from my experience, Kyoto is the best place. Kyoto Prefecture is the best place. Easier to get around, good weather, except for summers we are really hot. uh, not that cold during winter. Osaka is an amazing place to go. Kyoto is an amazing place to go. Beautiful Sakura Festival, the Cherry Blossom Festival every year. Beautiful culture, beautiful people, awesome people. I really recommend this region. Much safer from some natural disasters like earthquake compared to to Tokyo, and no more East and Northeast Japan. And registration process is much easier, and you will not have to prepare loads and loads of documents. But once you get your, if I'm not wrong, the name is affidavit or affidavit. I'm not sure the name exactly. But if you can get that document done in a quiet manner and it fits every requirement they're asking, translate to Japanese and then notarize in your country, it is pretty easy to get everything done. Taxes for the properties are not that expensive if you're buying in a place more in the country or small cities and all. If you're buying a place in Kyoto City, Osaka City, or let's say Tokyo City, you are supposed to pay a bit more taxes, okay? But if you are looking for a place to settle down, to have a great life, Kyoto is a very good recommendation for you. And then you can get a set like mine. Um, I'm sorry that I cannot show you so much, in detail the documentation, because my Japanese sucks, and I don't want to show other people's name and information that I'm not supposed to share. But Japan was the first place where I got land under my name, and this was an achievement for me that I could never expect, I could never guess, especially at the age I got. And then I start to, restore my house, and I have holidays every year. I have a month and a half per year of holidays. I go there, I spend my time in there. I feel home, I feel relaxed. I feel really good to have my own place. My family as well, so I can bring my family and we spend some time together. So you have this thing like, oh, I have my own holiday house, I have my own place. And of course I also plan on leaving Japan once I retire, or maybe a few years later if I change jobs. So Japan is a very nice place to consider, and it's a safe country, beautiful country. The houses, second-hand houses, are really affordable, right? You just need to remember that Akiya in Japanese doesn't mean abandoned and has no owner. No, no, no. It has ownership. It has owner, but he's not living there. So Akiya means abandoned, or a situation in which the property is abandoned. In an abandoned situation, or just abandoned. It doesn't mean the property doesn't have, okay? Sometimes you even go through the Akiya bank for a property. That property has been abandoned for several years, and the owner used to live in there, but he passed away. And you have to pay the broker to investigate all the people who inherit the house but not living there. So you still have to find all of them and get the permission from all of them to purchase the property. So Akiya Bank itself is a trap. But if you go through a private owner, private selling, one-to-one thing, your life gonna be pretty much easier. All right? Have a very great time. Thanks for watching the video till here. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. If you want to write something that you think I said wrong, you want to make a comment, oh Elvis, you're mistaken here or mistaken there, or maybe your information is not accurate, let me know. It doesn't matter. I'm willing to hear from other people. Most of the things I'm telling you is from my experience in the last few years, And I don't know why just now I start to create the videos to share with other people. um, I'm sharing this information because I have friends in Japan, not only Japanese but also foreigners like Australians, Americans, Canadians, British, who has moved to Japan, and they have shared all of those things with me. They also got properties in there, or they got married in Japan, and they say, "Hey, Alves, um, here, if you want to get a property, you have to go through this." So sometimes they share their, experience with me, and I put mine together, and then I make those videos for you. So these videos are not only for entertain you, but also to kind of guide you and show you a path which other people have been through, and try to prevent you from falling in certain traps, let's say in this way. Okay, thank you so much for watching till here, and I see you next time. All right, thank you.